I am live. You clicked on it willingly, then, so you know that you're up for an adventure. If you should know, we're not going to start the class until 7 minutes from now, so you absolutely can fast forward through all of this stuff that's going on here. And eventually, somebody will wander into the room and they will say, "Gary, the sound is good." Okay, and so that's what we're checking right now, is to make sure the sound is good. I've rearranged my microphones here to allow me to hopefully to sound a little better. And that's the bottom of the microphone, and that's what I do not want. So close your ears. I'm going to raise this up just a smidge. And now I should be able to speak directly into the microphone. This microphone should be recording. Well, it's really set up for ukulele, so you don't. This is just that's just a stereo thing, hopefully, and then hopefully I won't blow out the speaker, the microphones with harmonica. I noticed on yesterday's or the days, whatever broadcast I listened to, the sound of the harmonica is a little intense, and so. And bad because I'm playing it. But let's see. Ready for Valerie? Gonna have to pick and choose, dude. You're gonna end up being buried under music. They're gonna find you, and you're gonna have all these instruments laying on top of you. Hey, Kay, sound is good. Good, Lindy, sound is here. Sound is good. Jake, Jack. I call him Jake all the time. Jack, aloha number 3. Sound is good. Still double reads from my magic. Double reads, right? See, a lot of these guys know what they're doing out there. I don't even know what double reads means. Yes, I do. A harmonica, the fascinating thing, I thought of Jody earlier, she's a singer, right? So they're used to sound going this direction. Well, now sound also comes this direction. It's very fascinating. It's a very different feeling, even for people who know what they're doing. They're like, that's fascinating what you can do with a harmonica. Let's see. Melissa made it back in. I didn't run you off yesterday, Melissa. Very excited about that. Lanny, Deb is in. Deb is into Lanny's a serious ukulele player, and Deb is a serious tolerator of ukulele playing. And I'm delighted you're putting a little time in on a harmonica. It is fun, right, you guys? I mean, hopefully a little bit silly, but a little bit fun. And actually, you can end up learning some stuff about music as well. So we hopefully, between all of this, we will end up being brilliant musicians. I'm trying to get everything out of the view. I think when I'm looking at videos, the way I am, it's always just about the stuff that I'm looking at rather than what I should be looking at. What's this? That's that baritone. Okay, that can stay. I don't like to have all this junk piled around, because then as an observer, I'm just like, why do they have that? What's that? What's that? What's that? And I don't spend any time focusing in on what the lesson is. So you're supposed to focus in on me, right? And your sheet music. Actually, me is irrelevant too. Just focus in on the sheet music. Let's see. Hey, Kay says you'll need to give a workshop on doing tech side of the online music presentation. Have the highest possible speed internet that you can possibly get. That's all I know for sure. I know that if you have regular internet, it's probably not good enough. And if you got to get this super expensive internet, and then a microphone and a camera, because the camera in your laptops are terrible. I can't believe that Macintosh at this moment is handing out PowerBooks that are $4,000 that have a 720 camera in it. Well, that's what I use here for $200, and it's way better than the one that comes in the Macintosh. I just don't understand it. It's got to be 1080p at this point, and the Macs don't have it. So you have to buy a separate camera, and then the sound, of course, that's the real difference between decent videos and crummy videos is the sound. And of course the sound starts with decent microphones. So I have 2 microphones that go into a audio interface, and then that has a USB cable in. So I have the stuff I use is super old fashioned. These days they got fancier stuff, but the stuff I have works, and I know how to adjust it and all that. I did buy a fancier audio interface for the house, and basically I ignored all of the bells and whistles on it and just hooked it up like the old school ways, and it's fine. So, hey, Fran, let's see. Valerie says, yeah, Valerie is a dedicated multi instrumentalist, so we're worried that she's getting too many. Uke Noob is in. Melissa, having a good time. Good. That makes me happy. Marsha's in. Marsha is getting her whole family playing harmonica. Or at least you're buying harmonicas for everybody. Let's see if they actually follow through, right, Marsha? Sandy's here. Teeth are clean. I know everybody brush your teeth and wash your, you need your water. So if you didn't get your water, go run, grab a glass and come back and swish out your mouth and spit it in the sink, right? It's kind of gross. Oh, you are, Melissa. Oh, delightful! Isn't Sarah just tremendous? I love her. She's been just hammering it out now. I think 7-8 years up there in Boulder, and just doing a great job. And she's so positive and so fun and so full of light. And I'm delighted that you're hanging out with her. All these years, honestly, I've only met her one time. It was when the what do they call it? Ukulele Orchestra of Great Britain came through town, and Sarah had all of the bug players come and do a little impromptu thing in the lobby after the concert, or maybe it was at halftime. I don't remember, but that was the only time I met her. And so, but it was wonderful, and super excited of everything that she's accomplished up there in Boulder and continues to accomplish. She's a great teacher. So glad you're doing that with her. Jody is in. Jody was squawking with me about having no rests in what's it called? Wildwood Flower. She actually knows it. She's from the backwoods of not Tennessee, backwoods of North Carolina, and so she knows about all these funny songs that you play on harmonica. And so she was squawking at me about Wildwood Flower. Probably different than you remember it growing up, right, Jody? Or well, maybe you sang it last week down there. I don't know. With these folk tunes, everybody has their own way of doing it, and so sometimes I publish sheet music, and the first email I get is, "Well, that's not right." Let's see. Definitely fun, right, Fran? This is fun. It's fun. It's silly a little bit. Could turn into a career. The harmonica industry is very under the radar. Maybe you're the one that's going to bring it out to being a great experience for audiences around the world. It took Shakira to advertise hips, and all of a sudden she's doing all right. So before that was Elvis. Bob is here. What, Bob? I don't know about Bob being here. All right, glad you're here, Bob. Renee is here. Pauline, I got to still send you some sheet music. I got your email. I haven't got it done yet. Christine, Bozeman, Montana is in. Okay. All right, kids, let's get started. Louise, focusing in, and you are more important than you are more important than the sheet music. That's funny. Thanks, Louise. I appreciate that. She's terrific. It's really nice group. Yeah, awesome, Melissa. Delighted. You'll have to talk her into playing some harmonica. Actually, she's a pretty good singer. She probably doesn't need it. Yeah, in the lobby of Mackie. Were you there? That's exciting. So we've hung out together, Melissa. How about that? Evelyn's in. Finally, yeah, right. And Jennifer Graham is ready to go. Shram, is it Shram or Scram? I always say Shram. I hope I'm saying that right, Jennifer. Patty's here. Jody, there's no right way with folk music. It's ever changing, and that's our excuse when we make right? There we go. All right. There's a right and wrong way when we play the sheet music, but honestly, not even there, right? Okay, kids. You've swooshed your mouth out, and you don't have any weird stuff floating around in your teeth. I'm right now realizing my coffee is way back in the workshop, and I'm getting a little panicked, but we're going to make it through. Every day I want to start with that C major scale. It helps warm up the harmonica, and it helps get you just sort of centered and trying to create those single notes. I have my little list that I want to run through every single day. You wash your hands, because this is a gross activity. You're going to be stuffing stuff in your hands. Second thing, brush your teeth and drink plenty of water. Okay, get all that stuff out of your teeth. Sit up tall and pretty. We're going to be breathing from belly, okay? Not from your neck, but down here. Get your twos ready, two, 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 and remember to get single notes, we're trying to use just one hole at a time. When we are using multiple holes on your harmonica, we're going to be creating chords. That's not necessarily bad, but right now, we at least early on in your harmonica career, getting a clean single note out is important. Also, notice when you pucker real small, you also get a real small sound, and it's just a little thin. And so over time, your goal is going to be to work with harmonica enough where you can get the harmonica a little further back into your mouth and still get that single note out. And so I'm pretty far down on the harmonica. My mouth is pretty far over the hole, and I'm still able to direct my air into that single hole. I can't really give you advice on how to do that because I'm not entirely sure what I'm doing, and I'm not entirely sure that there is a teachable thing around that. But I do think that start with getting your lips puckered up and then just work on slowly puckering less. Okay. So it's unlike with reed instruments or woodwinds in the orchestra where you really have to build up your embouchure, I think is how it's pronounced, where you get these tighter and tighter. I think in harmonica in the beginning you need it pretty tight, but the more you play, the less tight that you have to have that. Plus, you're going to be adding in chords, and you're going to need to open up your wind passage, and then of course remember to cup the harmonica like this. Create a little sound pocket inside of your hand. That way you can open it up and create some. Vibrato, right? Okay. All right. Now, key of C major. Remember when on that notes in the thing, well, that should just be on the front of your harmonica book. And what you're going to be doing is just warming up. We got to get the reeds warmed up, get your mouth warmed up, get the whole thing going. We go down to the C major scale. Remember, 4 with nothing else means blow through hole number 4. And if it's got a little minus sign in front of it, then you suck through hole number 4. And you want to say 2, 2, 2. Okay, and in the beginning, the 2s are very important because over time you'll get a little lazy and you'll stop doing your 2s all the time, but you want to get that nice precision sound out in the beginning. Shram. Okay, good. Thanks, Jennifer. I think I was afraid all of a sudden. I don't know what I thought. Oh gosh, maybe it's Graham. When you are getting to chromatic, not sure what this is all about. Haven't brought one yet. We'll talk about chromatic today because I got a cheap alternative for you. Okay, all right. 4 out, 4 in, 5 out, 5 in, 6 out, 6 in, 7 in, 7 out. It's backwards on 7. Okay, we're going to go all the way up and then we'll come right back down. So stare at your C major scale and see if you can get it. See how clean you can get it this morning. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do it again. I was pretty far off myself. Let's see if we can get all of us together from the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, hopefully get your breath in, brother. Deep breath, fill up your lungs. Let's get our breathing apparatus working properly. I was talking to one of you yesterday about you have a somebody that that's a respiratory therapist. They really do use these things to get people breathing a little bit better, and not all of them, of course, because a lot of them are using. Those of you who've had somebody in your life who has had respiratory issues, you'll remember the little plastic thing with the ball. right? It's less fun than this. Okay, let's do one more time. Let's see if we can get it right from the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Good. Hopefully that's going well for you. The if it's not, that's one of the things to warm up with, and just to continue to work on getting it as clean as possible, getting the single notes. That's what we're really looking for. One of the things you'll notice as you get better, when you draw on these lower notes, there's going to have a tendency to bend a note. And let me give you an example. Okay, that's drawing on hole number 4, I think, might have been 3. But when you draw the notes, you can bend them. Okay, and that's where blues harmonica comes from. Is they start by bending these low notes. Eventually, you bend the higher notes by blowing on them. But your harmonica will get a little bit of a human voicing to it that way. The problem with that is once you learn how to bend, it's hard not to bend. And so a lot of times when you're listening to me do my scale, I'm not doing it clean because as I'm pulling in, as I'm drawing on these lower notes especially, they have this tendency to bend a little bit. It's because once you learn it, it's kind of fun to do, and then all of a sudden you're doing it all the time. And then when it comes time to do something that's actually an etude where you're really trying to get things clean and nice and neat, you don't want to bend that. And so just be aware that as you get more and more comfortable with this, a whole world of other note possibilities opens up to you, because you'll start bending these lower notes, and all of a sudden B flat shows up, and all of a sudden a B shows up when you're drawing on on a C or something. Well, you don't draw on C's, but you can get some other notes that aren't actually on here. It's why people think harmonica is a lot more versatile than it is. Okay, so so just know, as you mess around, you'll start to get that wah 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 sound, which you may want, but you don't necessarily want it if you don't mean to be creating it. Okay, so that's our warm up. Hopefully you're doing well. Hopefully most of that makes sense. That C major scale, we're going to play it every single time we get together as our warm up. So just keep it on the top of your notebook. Let's go to When the Saints Go Marching In. Okay, again, with Saints Go Marching In, the idea is patience. You also want to make sure you're doing your twos, because when you have these big long notes, if you don't define when the next note begins, it starts to get a little mushy, and you start sounding like whoa, 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 and that's not what we want. We want, oh, when the saints go march, right? We want clean moments when we stop one note and start the next note. Okay. Now, because some of you are also thinking this is going to be my instrument, I use the tablature to play. So on When the Saints Go Marching In, I'm thinking 4 5 minus 5 6, 4 5 minus 5 6. But those of you guys that are serious about music, or thinking maybe this is something that's going to be something I want to work on, you can absolutely start training yourself with the standard notation notes above. In this case, FACE is the spaces on the standard notation. So you got FAC, the first note's a C, the next note's an E, and the next note's an F. Every good boy does fine. Okay, so FACE and EGBDF. I have not ever taught standard notation in harmonica, but if there's enough of you that send me an email and say, yeah, I would really actually rather play from standard notation than the tablature, we can start I can start to put a few worksheets together for you. Okay, so I don't need 30 out of 30 of you to decide to do that, but I can start putting together just a few a few pieces of paper to help you with that. But I think if harmonica is not going to be a main instrument, you're probably going to be fine with tablature. But if you're thinking, you know what, I want to learn how to read music, I want to learn how all of that stuff goes together, we can absolutely work on that a little bit. And then the more important aspect of that is if you can read that line, you can pretty much go grab any piece of music that has a vocal line on it. So if you go to the store and you grab, the Sound of Music songbook, and it has them on there, lots and lots of times this instrument will just be just fine playing through the vocal line. Okay, and you don't need to have the harmonica tab there, but if you know how to read it, you can do that. Here's the only thing I'll mention. A lot of times, all good music, I think all is probably a bit of an overstatement, but almost all good music will have some accidentals, and that's where this guy comes in with the button. Okay, and we're going to talk about that before we get out of here today. Okay, so let's play When the Saints Go Marching In. Oh, Cat's listening in today. Oh, gosh. One of the things I recommend in all my videos is if you're just listening in, I'm sorry, right? You have to listen to me and this. I don't know. You want to participate if you can. Cat's busy today. She's trying to get college up and running. Oh, and by the way, Cat, you have a hurricane headed your way. I don't know if you know about that or not. All right, here we go. Get this going. I'm going to count in 4, then we're going to do that rest, and then we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, rest. Did you make it all the way through? What happens when you make a mistake, when you draw instead of blow or blow instead of draw, or when you're on the wrong hole? What happens? Absolutely nothing, right? You sound funny. Okay. So be willing to make mistakes. If it's the wrong notes coming out, and slide up, slide down a little bit, try drawing in or blowing out. It will come around, right? This is a very forgiving instrument, and luckily you're not likely to be playing it in front of other people, and so you can make some mistakes, right? Get it close, move on, right? That's great. Let's see. Cat says I'm battering down the hatches here, closing canvas for 2 days. Yeah, darn job is Monica playing. Yeah. Ran out of breath drawing in, right? So one of the things you'll find, every song's a little bit different, right? This song, I don't know, this song, moments in it, you're blowing too much. Other moments, you're drawing too much. When we get to Danny Boy, oh my God, draw, and your lungs will get all messed up, right? And so you'll get used to either dumping your air, getting rid of it, or if you blow it out, being able to suck it in real quick. So that's part of what we're learning to do, is use this apparatus, this big old bellows that we have to get air in and out. And we're going to get, the more you do it, the more efficient you get with in and out happening. Let's see, Carol. I ended up playing harmony. I ended up playing harmony not on purpose, right? That's on very hyperventilation passing out. Hold on, Jennifer. Grab onto the table. Yeah, yeah. So see, here's what you know, right? If your lungs and you're dizzy and you're all this, you know you're doing yourself a favor, right? All of a sudden you're like, wait, I have not noticed, but I'm not breathing that great on a daily and hourly basis. I can use this to get better at this. Every time I come back to harmonica, the first week or so, I'm just dizzy and all confused and what the heck is going on. But then after I play a little bit, then I'm doing fine. Like I was able to play that without any significant challenge to my breathing apparatus. So there's that. I did want to mention, and I teased Kat a little bit. Kat and I have been together since the beginning of the pandemic. They do have. She's down there in Texarkana. And there's right. They're calling a Force 4 hurricane. So, boy, hopefully, if any of you guys are down there, or if you know people down there, hopefully everybody's going to come out okay. This is a scary time for them down there. I played some. I played some chords. It's okay to play chords accidentally, right? Your goal is to get the single note, but if you hit some chords along the way, you hit some chords along the way. Sometimes you can come up with an even better song that way. Okay, let's play You Are My Sunshine. All right, You Are My Sunshine. Nice part about it, we're going to start on 3. We're not going to go up above 6, I think. I think 6 is our highest note, so it's right dead square in that Get Warmed Up lineup. And plus, it's got a lovely, lovely message behind it, okay? So if somebody says, you're taking harmonica lessons, get where you can play this song and just play it for them. And they'll be like, oh, that sounds pretty good. All right, here we go. Get your cup on, okay? Find hole number 3. 1, I count in 4, then we hit that rest, and then we go 1, 2, 3, 4, rest. That's a good song. All right. Anybody pass out yet? Let's back up 1. Let's play Yankee Doodle. Okay, remember Yankee Doodle is much higher up. It's going to be a lot more work on your reeds. And so hopefully, once you've been working on your ukulele a little bit, your hand is warm, the instrument's warming up. Usually that means the reeds are going to be a little more responsive. So I like to usually start, not that I spend a ton of time practicing on harmonica, right? You're just playing through songs, but I like to start on easier songs. I do spend a lot of time playing When the Saints Go Marching In and You Are My Sunshine, just to help get the harmonica warmed up. And like I say, the reeds do respond a little bit better once you've been holding it a while, and the hand it's just a little bit warmer. Let's see. Renee says, not bad. Okay. If you're better than Monday, that's the thing, right? By Friday, you're a pro. It's like when you teach people bass, you give them this 2 lessons. Here's how to pluck. Here's where the notes are. Okay, see ya. Um, let's see. Jody still here? Yeah, Jody. Jody's cheating. She's a singer. She knows how to breathe. Let's see, Cindy. The problem is when you draw in time after time without a breath. I think so too. I think the multiple draws, pretty soon you're full of air, right? And you just gotta take a second and go. Maybe you miss a note, right? Blah, get all that air back out and then start again. Um, so yeah, I think I find that for myself that the multiple draws are really at some point you're like, geez Louise, when are we going to get a blow here? So yeah, those are fun. And I do think Renee's point is well taken. Every song, glass of water, right? All right, Yankee Doodle. Let's knock it out. Those of you who aren't Americans, please know Americans don't like this song either. Okay. Start on blow 7. You're way up on the far end of the harmonica. And again, the reason that this has to happen is you have only certain notes, right? And if I would love to have Yankee Doodle down on the lower area here, but there aren't the right notes down here to successfully pull it off. And so sometimes there's no choice but to start a tune higher up on your harmonica. And I lied to you yesterday. I says this is written in actual pitch. It's not. It's actually a full octave higher than it's written that you're playing. Okay. So let's go from blow 7 and see how we do. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Um, Clearly, I'm fighting those higher reads. Is when I get to something like this, I know that's going to happen, and so I just give myself permission to sound a little less great than I sounded on some of those other songs. But playing those higher reads, it is going to come up. I would say because we have such a limited number of notes on here, we have to take advantage of every single one. And so it's not uncommon for you to be playing down here on 1s and 2s, and it's also not at all uncommon to be playing 8s and 9s. 10s are a little less common, but you're playing these real high notes um, all of the time. And so while you might not be getting as clean and pretty of a tone out of Yankee Doodle as you are of the other songs, it's something that you do want to work on. Okay. All right. That's enough of that song. Let's go play Wildwood Flower. Let's see. Jody gave me heck about it today, so I'm going to see how close we can get it. Okay. Folk music. Those of you who are newer to music, folk music gets every community plays. There are certain songs that get played in community after community after community. And my best example of this is Aloha Oi. Aloha Oi was written by the Queen of Hawaii back in the 19th century, and so it's a legit song. But what happens is that everybody who comes to that alters it a little bit, changes it a little bit. And so when you grow up in Hawaii, every little village through the whole entire community plays it just a little bit different. Well, which was the correct way? Well, in your head, the way you learned it as a little kid is the correct way. And so that's what you do. And so when you get together to play Aloha Oi, nobody can agree on how it goes exactly, right? And so when a haole from the mainland, put out my piece of sheet music for Aloha Oi, I get immediately, that's not right. Okay. So it isn't, this is folk music, right? And so this is my version. This is the version we're going to play. But if you would know a different way of doing it, do it your way. There's no normal, there's no rule that you have to do it one way or another. You have to do it whatever way makes sense and has fun. Uh-oh, Pauline has lost my signal. Am I talking to myself right now? Would one of you who has is hearing the sound of my voice say, you're still on? I hope I'm not talking to myself. So sometimes it gets delayed quite a bit, and that's Patty says I'm still on. I'm still here. You're there. Okay. All right. So we lost Pauline. Pauline, hopefully you'll come back. All right, so we're all good. We're gonna keep forging forward. Hopefully Pauline can relog. All right, let's go to Wildwood Flower. Still on. All right. Okay, good. If I'm in Boulder, that's all that matters, right? As long as my voice isn't going on in Boulder. Just buffers. Yeah, I'm not usually the buffers. I get a little sign here. It says your internet connection is unstable, but I didn't get that sign, so we're gonna go with this. They're doing some plumbing repairs outside the building, and I'm assuming at some point they're going to cut through the line. That's what I'm assuming is going to happen. Northwest Illinois. Okay, if I'm in Illinois, right? They every now and then they'll let me into the Midwest, and they'll be like, "Yeah, you can come on in. Yeah, we're keeping an eye on you, though." From the top, Wildwood Flower. A lot of you guys don't know the tune. If you don't know the tune, go listen to it on the MP3 after class. It's a very pretty tune. You don't need to play all 5 verses. Let's just play it one time through and see how we do. Because I do want to talk very briefly before we get out of here about chromatic. Okay, so from the top, Wildwood Flower. 1, 2, 3. I got off. Let's play it again. I blew it. I was like, all of a sudden, that doesn't sound like the song. I got a little off. I don't have this one. This is not as, I don't have this one as solid as some of the others. Let's try it one more time from the top. 1, 2, 3. Closer. Okay. Really nice tune. I think it's a little bit all over the place, and that's a great next level song for you, right? So start with we wish you a Merry Christmas. When the Saints Go Marching In, that's going to be the easiest one. Next one, do You Are My Sunshine. Get those 2 good and solid. Then next level would probably be Yankee Doodle, right? Because it's going to be way up here, but it's a relatively short song. And then your 4th song, the tough song of the week, Wildwood Flower. Eventually, this won't be anything. I think for me, the hard part is I'm having to look at the tablature and then looking up to see whether that's an 8th note or a quarter note, because I'm not as solid on how this song goes as some of the other ones that we do. And so I'm having to read both the tablature line and the standard notation line to get it about right. And so got lost there. Yeah. So I got lost there too, right? And I'm teaching the class. So let's spend tomorrow again. We'll spend maybe a little bit more time on this one and a little less time on the other two. So just kind of be ready when you come in to play the other three. We'll just play through them, and then we'll spend a little bit more time on this one. Not a bad idea. Go listen. There's I can't remember the name of the woman who's super famous who sings this back in the Carter family is what I want to say, but I don't know for sure. That made a name in country music singing this one, and so it's not a bad idea to go listen to a few of the YouTube videos, and which I did when I was putting this together to see how close I could get it. And I love the tune. I just love the melody. I just think it's really, really pretty. And it could be one of these with 5 verses. You can be going for a long time, and so we'll spend a little bit more time on that tomorrow, but I don't want to spend too much time on it today because I've got about 10 minutes to run through there. Carter family, thank you. Thank you, Melissa. And we're going to talk Ash Grove, and we're going to talk Chromatic. Okay, so we finally made it. Okay. This is a chromatic harmonica, and this is a cheap chromatic harmonica that I bought off of Amazon, and I paid $33.98 for it. Okay, and so I'm going to post the link on the website. Here's why you want to own a chromatic, and this thing is super cheap, and so I had no faith in it whatsoever, but I've been playing it last night and today, and it's working just fine. So beauty of harmonica is that honestly, okay, so you got $35. I told you put $35 away every time you practice. Put $5 in the jar. I used to say put $1 in a jar, but that doesn't build up fast enough. So put $5 in the jar every time you play. $5 in the jar, and then as that $5 builds up, you get to go buy stuff with your $5. Okay, that's your reward for practicing. Okay, don't just go get your credit card out. Right, make yourself earn it. Okay. Here's what a chromatic harmonica does. Okay, you have the same blows: C, E, G, C, E, G, C, E, G, C. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. This only has 10 holes on it instead of the one that I use regularly, which I didn't even bring it in today, has 12 holes. Okay, and then I have one that has 16 holes, but those are holes that are added on down here. They're the deep low ones. I'm not even positive what you would use those for. Okay, so the 12 is ideal. That's sort of industry standard, but this one has 10 and it'll work just fine. Okay, and I will make sure when I'm doing arrangements that they all will fit onto a 10-hole harmonica. How about that? Mother Maybelline Carter, Johnny Cash's mother-in-law. Oh, Johnny Cash's mother-in-law. Isn't that crazy? It's crazy. All right. I have a friend who's from Kentucky, and he found out another one of my friends is also from Kentucky, and he goes, well, there's a pretty good chance we're related. So I think that's a joke. If you're from Kentucky, you're awesome. What this does, however, is instead of having to skip anytime you end up with a sharp or a flat in a song, you can't play those on a regular harmonica if you don't know how to bend it. And even if you do know how to bend it, it sounds weird. It doesn't quite sound right. Whereas this, it will sound right because you're going to press the button in to get your sharps and flats. Okay, and those of you who are new to music, you don't need to worry about it overly. I'll take care of that for you. But if you look at Ash Grove, which is one of the songs that I asked you to print out this week, if you're looking at it and you go down, everything's going great. Everything is a wonderful song. Everything's awesome until you get to measure 16. And if you look at the standard notation, it goes B, and what key are we in? We're in C. It goes a B, and then it goes a G, and then for some reason, it has to have an F sharp there. And you're like, oh, man, now I can't play it on a regular harmonica. I have to go get my chromatic harmonica. So that's what these do. Whenever there's a sharp or a flat in any song that you want to play, you're going to need one of these. Most of the songs you want to play have sharps and flats. Okay, almost all modern music has some type of alteration, sharp or flat, and so you're going to need one of these. Now, like I say, this one's $35. I have very low expectations of it, but I was playing it this last couple of days, and it seems fine. Seems good enough. It's a Swan Chromatic 1040. Okay, and I'll post a link of it up on the website. I'm not necessarily recommending it, but if you want to get involved in playing, if you're like, yep, I love harmonica, I might as well get one of those as well. This is a cheap way to get into it, and then over time you can get the $200 one that I know is good. Okay. The difference with playing this is that the holes are further apart. So you have to do a little bit more of this going back. Look at that note over there on measure 16. Okay. So it's a draw 4, then a blow 7, then it's a draw 6 with a star. That means you have to push the button in at the same time. Otherwise, it's not going to sound right. And I will warn you, if you try to play this on a regular harmonica, it won't work at all. Okay. So because the arrangement of notes is different on one of these. And so just know I will keep the chromatic stuff separate from the diatonic stuff. A regular daily class, you've got the harmonica already. That's what you want to have. We're going to have 4 songs every single week with diatonic, and then we'll have 1 song with chromatic. Over time, we will run out of songs to do on diatonic harmonica because it's a sort of a limited group of songs that will fit onto one of those, but we will never run out of songs that fit onto this. Okay. So every single song on the planet can be played on one of these. And so that's why you want one of these eventually. So I'm going to play Ash Grove for you. I'll just play it one time through so you got a sense of how the song goes. If you have one of these, just know when you get to measure 16, you're going to be drawing 6 but you have to push the button, otherwise it doesn't make sense. The other thing about a chromatic harmonica is it's kind of hard to hold your sound like this and push the button. And so I've watched 100 videos on this. How do you do this? Some guys will hold it and do this, and so they end up sort of holding it like this. I have found that for me, just using my thumb is what I like to do. I get my sound thing as good as I can, and it's not as cool as a diatonic, okay? But that's how I've been playing it. A lot of guys will cup it this way and then use this, but I find that less comfortable because then you have to play like this, and I don't want my neck to go out playing harmonica. Okay, so let me see if I can play this for you. If you happen to have a chromatic, now's your time. Okay, fire it up and let me show you what that sounds like. By the way, it sounds exactly like a regular harmonica. Okay, it's just way more capable. Okay, is the chromatic in the key of C? Didn't see the music for Ash Grove. Did I miss it? So it's at the bottom of the list on the list of music. So yeah, the very last one says Chromatic, Ash Grove, Blow 3, PDF. So it is on the bottom of your list for the week on the website. You probably didn't print it out because you don't have a chromatic. Chromatics do come in different keys. The reason you might buy one of the other keys is because you're playing a lot of a certain song, and it's just more convenient to have it either lower or higher on the mouthpiece. I only buy C's because I can only think in the key of C, and so when there's a sharp or a flat, I know I want to push the button. But if you get a chromatic in the key of G, all of your F's are already sharped on that instrument, which means when you run into a regular F, you have to push the button. So yeah, it's just one more perplexity that I don't want to introduce into my life as a musician, and so I only own C ones, and obviously you'll want to start with a one in C. Got mine ordered. Awesome. Cat's like, yep, I'm in. I'm selling out. Okay. All right. Let me give you a taste of what this is. Hopefully I'll get it right. Okay. 1, 2. Why do I always blow the next to last measure? I don't know why. So I got a little lost in measure 6 and 7 the last time through, but it gives you a sense of what this can do. It sounds exactly like a regular harmonica, but you now have all of the notes available to you. And so those of you guys with some music background in not in playing other instruments, you know you like having all the notes, right? And so that's what this thing does. And for $33.98, is that what I spent on it? It's called a well, on Amazon, it says Chromatic Harmonica, professional grade, 10 hole, 40 tone, key of C, stainless steel, heavy duty with case and cleaning, and professional player. Yeah, it sounds very fancy. It's a Swan 1040 is what it is, and it was $33.98. And I would suggest, right? You obviously want to have both. Okay, if you're just doing this for fun and you just to help you breathe or whatever, diatonic is plenty. You're going to end up with over 100 songs. Every time I run into a song now that doesn't have any sharps or flats, and I'm like, oh, that could be a harmonica key, and I've been putting it on our list. So you will have the opportunity then to play both ways. And I think, if you find out, hey, I really kind of enjoy this, you want to have a chromatic, and chromatics are not typically used in blues harmonica. They typically stick with diatonic harmonicas because it's much easier to bend the notes. And so, if your plan is, hey, I want to start a blues band, you really don't need that. If you want to play classical music, you're going to have this, right? And we will be sneaking in classical pieces from time to time. There's one guy on YouTube that's the videos look pretty old, but he was really killing Flight of the Bumblebee and all of the stuff on this. He shows up, guess what happens? He pulls this out and the audience laughs, right? That's where we're at with this instrument. Nobody takes it seriously. So if you're taking it seriously, you can become somebody famous. And I rewrote the words. The original words are really, I don't know, they don't mean anything. I just didn't get anything out of the original words. So I changed them to be about practicing your harmonica. So there we go. Can't believe my dad's old chromatic one actually works. Yay! So Wendy has an old one. The only thing I know about the really old ones is they're made out of wood and they crack right in the middle. I have 4 of them. And 3 of them have cracks right in the middle of them from these old. I save them because I want the parts. But they have a tendency to be cracked and stuff. And once a harmonica cracks, then they have these huge air leaks and you can't really use them anymore. So that's that. Okay, guys, 151. I'm keeping you a minute too late. Think about getting, it's up to you, right? You do not need to buy a chromatic. We're just going to do one. We're going to add one song in each week that will require a chromatic. Otherwise, we're just going to play off of the diatonics. And you'll get a whole lot of music out of this, guy. So don't feel any obligation to go spend more money on it. Okay. If you have to spend more money on something and you're not that interested in chromatic, buying a higher quality harmonica diatonic, it makes some sense. So, all right, Katie, I don't even have a harmonica. Just saying hi. Katie, get a harmonica. What the heck are you doing? All right, Evelyn. That was fun. I didn't pass out. Nobody passed out. Okay, good. Guys, get out of here. What are you doing hanging around playing harmonica? You got a day to go get after. I'll see all of you hopefully tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll just play, and then Friday we have our concert. So we got till Friday to get these suckers together. So put a little bit of rehearsal time in at your house, and we'll play it together on Friday. Let's see. Thanks for being here, Sandy. Melissa, good to see you. Keep showing up. John, how do I get the MP3s? On Mammoth Gardens, if you go up on the menu, click on music, it says harmonica. Click on that harmonica link, and all of the MP3s are there. There's also a link from our daily list. It says go here for resources. You can click on that, and it'll take you to there as well. So there's only 2 harmonica pages on Mammoth Gardens, the one with the daily schedule that you click off of the front page. And then I do have a full page dedicated to harmonica under the music tab. Okay, so that's where you will get those MP3s. I actually feel like I'm getting a little better already. Yeah, Louise, by next week, you're going to be ready to go on the road. This is an instrument that comes along pretty quickly. YouTube, I'll see you in a little bit. I'm going to go grab my coffee. Absolutely. Deb, thanks for being here. Go. Yes, I think I told you to punch Yolanda yesterday. Give him a hug today. Hope you guys are having a great time there in Hawaii. Jack, good to see you. Waiting for baritone. We'll get to baritone yet today. Lindy, I'll see you soon. Renee, thanks for the tips and other things. Yeah, it's great. We're gonna keep it going. Patty, have a great day. Pauline, I'll send you some sheet music here in a little bit. I'm gonna go grab my coffee. I'm gonna end the stream. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Stay safe. Be good.